Hello, I'm Super Orange Cat. Here I'm today to talk about Toonami's ratings for this past Saturday, December 10th, 2022. Let's start at the top of the block. At the top of the block, we have My Hero Academia at a 0.12, Made in Abyss at a 0.11, Yashahime at a 0.09, One Piece at a 0.08, and Naruto at a 0.07. Overall, this was a very solid week for Toonami. Increases all across the board, with the biggest increase belonging to Made in Abyss. So again, and I think it is very clear once again why the ratings are good. It is because of the show at the very front in My Hero Academia. Out of the shows here, they probably has the largest, most widespread appeal in the United States. And it's impressive though, because although I definitely will make the argument that its size of fandom and popularity is not what it was like 3, 4 years ago, it's still impressively large. And it's enough that even though these episodes already aired on Funimation, that you're getting people to return for Toonami for the dubs. And this time, one also thing that was really good this week is that retention was a bit better. Last week, if you recall, My Hero Academia, Made in Abyss did not follow My Hero Academia that well. This week it actually did, by only dropping 1/100th instead of 3. And especially with a higher number this week in My Hero Academia, that is a notable improvement for Made in Abyss. Again, Made in Abyss is really heating up with the season. It's really starting to get into the heart of the matter, really. And that's something, and that's also, you could say something about a lot of people actually praised this last season of My Hero Academia for season 6, is that My Hero Academia, I believe seasons 2 through 5 had gained a tradition for opening each season with a recap episode, which typically was something that even diehard fans typically did not necessarily like as much. This season was a bit different. There was action from the get-go, and by episode 2, the ball's already rolling, your feet's on the ground running, and a lot of people really like that. And that's something about that show that people really like. And really, it's the rising tide raises all ships situation, because even after that, you have Yashahime had a good night, One Piece had a good night, Naruto had a good night, and Yashahime, One Piece, and Naruto all went up 300ths of a point. So it was probably that halo effect from more people tuning in the first place, which means more TVs were on, especially those with Nielsen boxes, later and later and later. And that's ultimately the strategy Toonami has employed. They employed it much more a few years ago when they had like Dragon Ball Super at the front of the block, where that was always going to get a massive amount of people. So it's like, just throw that in the front and maybe try to make the next show as compatible as possible. They got the best connection with that in Boruto, which we do not have on Toonami anymore for interesting reasons. Reasons I think Toonami's actually not being upfront about, because it would be embarrassing. Like, the controversy was, I think it was someone came out, someone who was like a top brass at Toonami said, yeah, no one was watching it. I look at the ratings every week. People were watching Boruto. Boruto had a sizable fan base, and it hit all the demographics that Toonami could have wanted: males and females, 12 to 34 and 18 through 48. So there was that was not an excuse. The real answer is it was probably got expensive. They probably got a little bit of a sweetheart deal from Viz at the very beginning, and then when, after a few episodes aired, Viz came in and said, we're bumping up the rate, and Toonami said no. That's probably what happened. I can almost guarantee that. But again, I'm getting a little bit off topic again. And again, this time we found something that connects with My Hero Academia, followed by Made in Abyss. Both are about kids doing stuff, completely different stuff, and completely different not really entirely. Both shows feature like teenagers and kids in like extreme dangerous situations. Let's say they're similar enough. They're similar enough. And again, good night for Toonami. And I wanted to do this video yesterday, but I held off a day because I thought sometime today we would probably get the announcement for what the marathons, presumably marathons, we're getting. Because this year's Saturday night is Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. There's no chance in hell that we're getting new episodes on those dates. Those are going to be marathon nights for sure. So we're still waiting for what those marathons are going to be. And also, there's some awesome goodness coming down the pipeline here at my channel. As you know, we're getting to the end of the year, so I've already written out the things I'm going to include in my best of and worst of 2022 lists. I just have to sort out what order. you know, and that's coming out soon, probably within a week or so. And I've really wanted to wait for not the ratings. I really wanted to wait for the marathons too because I want to see if either of those would make either list. But usually marathons don't make that countdown unless they're like egregious. Like last year, we had all those Blade Runner marathons in the year, and that was like number 3 worst thing about the year because it was so pervasive at the time. Even if I had to go back today and rate the best and worst of 2021, that weird marathon spree is still definitely probably going to be in the top 5. It was too weird, and the type of thing that makes of high, we have no money. There was another thing that happened this year that reeked of high, we have no money, that is a very strong contender for number 1. But again, that's for that video. Other things I'm planning on doing, I'm hopefully going to do part 5 of my waifu project video. If you follow me on Twitter, you would have seen I did a little teaser picture of Sayaka Miki. And yes, she will be one of the waifus I will be covering in that video. And if you know where she's from, you could take a guess at what some of the other waifus in that video are gonna be. That should be coming out eventually. I'm aiming for the end of the year for that one, by the end of the year for that one, rather. Another one I'm going to do, I have to do by Christmas, is my annual Kitty Christmas karaoke video because YouTube is very mean when it comes to copyrights. I'll probably have to post that one on Rumble only. And again, if you want to stay tuned for that one, again, follow me on my Twitter because I will be posting the link to that one as soon as it's ready and complete. And if you followed my Twitter, you'll also know exactly what song it is. And if you know exactly what song it is, you'll know how much of an absolute fun train wreck it's going to be. So again, that's more on the Super Orange Cat pipeline. A lot of goodness happen up soon, especially because I'm not going to have that much content to go on Toonami-wise, because with these marathons, I don't usually cover marathon ratings, especially since they don't like talking about reruns on like Showbuzz Daily and stuff. They don't usually have those numbers until like weeks later, so I won't even have those numbers. And again, not too much at the end of the year, so I make my own content, you know? And I'm still also on my Rumble channel doing my backyard baseball season playthrough. I go as a team called the Red Rockets, Hardy Har Har, where I pick the absolute worst kids in backyard baseball and I try to make it work. And let me tell you, quite a bit of the time, it does not work. And that's fun. You want to see me rage out, want me to say horrible things about Reese Worthington? Then watch me there. This video has been going on enough, and I have long left the train. Again, for posterity, one more time, I'm going to go through the ratings. My Hero Academia 0.12, Main Abyss 0.11, Yashihime 0.09, One Piece 0.08, Naruto 0.07. So those were for the premieres on this past Saturday night, December 10th, 2022. I am Super Orange Cat, and that is all.